Imagine this. For nearly 200 years, a series of brutal wars were fought in the name of reclaiming the Holy Land. Millions of people lost their lives, great cities were reduced to ruins, powerful empires collapsed, and in many cases, even people of the same faith turned their swords against one another. But here's the real question. Were the Crusades truly just religious wars? Or were they driven by a much bigger agenda? Power, politics, wealth, and the ambition to build empires. In today's video, we'll uncover the complete history of the Crusades, from their dramatic beginning to their lasting end. And by the end, you'll discover how these wars continue to shape global politics, religious relations, and the modern world even today. The year was 1095. To the Christians of Europe, Jerusalem was the holiest city on earth. But at that time, the city was under Muslim rule. Meanwhile, the Byzantine Empire was rapidly weakening under relentless attacks from the Seljuk Turks. Desperate for help, the Byzantine emperor appealed to the Pope in Rome. That appeal would change the course of history. At the Council of Clermont in France, Pope Urban II stood before a massive crowd and issued a powerful call. "In the name of God, liberate Jerusalem." His words ignited a movement unlike anything Europe had ever seen. Thousands of knights, nobles, peasants, and ordinary people took up arms and marched toward the Holy Land. Each warrior wore a red cross on their clothing as a symbol of their sacred mission. From that symbol came the name by which history would remember them forever. In 1096, the First Crusade began. After a long and grueling journey across continents, the Crusaders finally reached Jerusalem in 1099. What followed became one of the bloodiest chapters in medieval history. After capturing the city, thousands of Muslims, Jews, and civilians were killed in a devastating massacre. The streets, according to many historical accounts, were filled with blood. In the aftermath, the Crusaders established a new Christian kingdom of Jerusalem, marking one of the greatest victories in medieval Europe. Across Europe, the conquest was celebrated as a glorious triumph. But for the Muslim world, the fall of Jerusalem became a painful memory that would never be forgotten. For years, the Muslim world remained divided, making it difficult to resist the Crusader states. Then, a remarkable leader emerged, Sultan Saladin, Salah ad-Din Ayyubi. He united Egypt and Syria under one banner and forged a powerful, disciplined army. In 1187, history witnessed the legendary Battle of Hattin. The Crusader forces suffered a crushing defeat, marking a dramatic turning point in the Crusades. Soon afterward, Saladin recaptured Jerusalem. But instead of seeking revenge, he chose mercy. He allowed civilians to leave the city safely and treated many of its inhabitants with compassion. This extraordinary act of humanity earned Saladin lasting respect, not only throughout the Muslim world, but also among many historians and writers in the West, where he is remembered as one of history's greatest and most honorable leaders. The news of Jerusalem's fall sent shockwaves across Europe. In response, the Third Crusade was launched. Among its leaders was England's legendary king, Richard the Lionheart. Renowned for his courage and skill in battle, Richard became one of the most celebrated warriors of his age. On the other side stood Sultan Saladin, a brilliant military strategist and an exceptional leader. The two commanders faced each other in a series of fierce campaigns and legendary battles. Yet despite their military brilliance, neither was able to achieve a decisive victory over the other. Eventually, both sides agreed to a peace treaty. Under its terms, Jerusalem remained under Muslim control. However, Christian pilgrims were guaranteed safe passage to visit the Holy City. Though they fought as enemies, Richard the Lionheart and Saladin earned each other's respect, leaving behind one of history's most remarkable rivalries. Then came one of the most shocking and unexpected chapters in the history of the Crusades. The Fourth Crusade was originally launched to fight the Muslims and reclaim the Holy Land. But history took a dramatic turn. Instead of marching toward Jerusalem, the Crusaders attacked Constantinople, the capital of the Christian Byzantine Empire. In 1204, the city was brutally sacked. Magnificent churches, imperial palaces, priceless libraries, and countless works of art were looted or destroyed. The attacks stunned the Christian world. Rather than uniting Christians, the Fourth Crusade deepened the divide between the Eastern Orthodox and Western Catholic churches, leaving wounds that would shape Christian history for centuries. Over the next century, several more crusades were launched, but none of them achieved the success of the earlier campaigns. Meanwhile, the Muslim world grew stronger and more united, making it increasingly difficult for the Crusader states to survive. Finally, in 1291, the city of Acre, the Crusaders' last major stronghold in the Holy Land, fell to Muslim forces. With the fall of Acre, the Crusader presence in the Middle East effectively came to an end. Thus, after nearly 200 years of warfare, one of the longest and most influential conflicts in medieval history, the Crusades, finally came to a close. The Crusades were far more than a series of wars. They transformed the course of history for both Europe and the Middle East. These conflicts helped open new trade routes between East and West, fueling economic growth across Europe. At the same time, knowledge from the Muslim world, including advances in science, medicine, mathematics, and philosophy, found its way into Europe, helping shape the Renaissance that would follow. But the Crusades also left behind a darker legacy. They deepened religious hostility, fueled political distrust, and widened cultural divisions, wounds that echoed through the centuries. Even today, the word crusade continues to appear in political speeches, religious debates, and international discussions around the world. History teaches us a timeless lesson. When religion, politics, and the pursuit of power become intertwined, it is ordinary people who pay the highest price. So, what do you think? Were the Crusades truly wars of faith, or were they ultimately driven by power, politics, and ambition? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoy fascinating history explained through compelling stories, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more videos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.